Hello everybody, and welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Lori Albert. My name is Lori Albert, and I am a medium and intuitive. Spiritually Speaking is a feel-good, interactive, intuitive conversation that embraces all things spiritual. Each week we discuss different spiritual or life topics. I have occasional guests, and I take your calls on the Spirit line for you to be part of the conversation, or if you'd like to receive a reading. So, welcome to the show. I hope everybody's having a great day. I know it's been trying lately, to say the least, right? It's been, it's been trying, let's just say. Mercury's in retrograde. I get it. Things have been really, really nuts. I have a call coming in, but I'm going to put off answering the calls for just a little while because I want to talk about a couple things, and I want to lead this amazing meditation, this grounding meditation that I channeled this morning. I love when Spirit talks to me the way it does, so I channeled this meditation this morning and I can't wait to do it with you guys. So I'm feeling all relaxed. So check this out. I'm not 100% sure because, Mercury is in retrograde and it does not like technology, but I think I have it situated where if you guys are on Facebook or even YouTube and you put something in the chat, I'm pretty sure I can see it. So if somebody wants to test that, great. I can answer questions. Yay, that way if you don't, because I know I have so many of you guys have called in and said that you just can't, you just don't have the guts to call in, and I absolutely appreciate that. I mean, that's difficult, right? It can be scary. Not everybody is as outgoing as I am, I guess I can say, right? So I totally appreciate that. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if it's up. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue if it's working or what. So I guess we'll find out. At any rate, okay, so what I wanted to talk about first before I get into the meditation is that I want to talk about Mercury being in retrograde. And I know I have gotten so many texts and emails talking about people having real difficulties right now just with, impatience and should I or should I not sign this contract or buy this home or, that sort of thing. And it's a tough time. Mercury is in retrograde. Yeah. So what I want to talk about that is really quickly is that Mercury turns back direct on April 15th, which is Sunday. Okay. But things continue to be a little bit squirrely until around the very beginning of May. So I want to say that to you guys because you know what? It's not just Mercury being in retrograde is not a horrible thing. There are a lot of really, really positive things. However, what they tell us to stay away from and not to do is, if it's at all possible, don't sign any contracts. Don't do any large purchases. Okay, any major decisions, don't do any major decisions. That would be a difficult thing, right? And if you have to, what they say is to double, triple, quadruple, just keep checking and checking. Okay, check all the details, right? My big thing right now is because I'm traveling next week, right? Checking all the details. Do you know how many times I've checked the flights? I've checked the car service. I keep checking all of this stuff, right? So yeah, so you just gotta just keep checking. And above all, have patience, right? Have patience with it. It's all gonna be fine. Everybody is fine. It's just that I feel like that if we know that Mercury is retrograde and it affects communication and technology, then you just prepare for it and you just, when something happens, you go, oh, Mercury's in retrograde. Okay, so maybe I'll just ease back and have a little bit more patience. So that being said, okay, now the things that you can do during Mercury being in retrograde is, reflect on your life. Reflect on new options that you have. Okay, reflect on all of those new things that might be coming up. Meditate a little bit more. Get in touch with yourself a little bit more, right? And that's why I want to do the grounding meditation in a few minutes, because it's just so it's so important to keep in mind that this is a time of self-reflection. And what can be really cool about this particular time is starting, getting new ideas for your own life while Mercury is in retrograde, right? So think about the new things that you might want to take on, new projects. Don't start them yet, but maybe start thinking and start organizing your thoughts, that sort of thing, right? But I got to tell you, you guys are going to die when you hear Christopher Renstrom's astrology, horoscope for the week for everybody, right? It is insanely crazy considering what has been going on. Okay, we've got Mark Zuckerberg talking to Congress, testifying before Congress, and then we've got the situation with our president, right, and all of that stuff going on. But I'm not here to be political, but wait till you read this. He wrote this before anything happened, right? So wait till you guys hear this. Okay, this is for April 9th, which is yesterday, through April 15th, okay? Jupiter moves in mysterious ways. Deemed the planet of good fortune and higher purpose, we often think of Jupiter as the cosmic lottery. If you score with the big guy upstairs, then you are on the winning side and your life is set. But what happens when good fortune suddenly vanishes? Will your friends still be your friends? Will your creditors still honor you? Will loved ones stick around? This is something you will find out this week when Jupiter sextiles Pluto. Now, sextiles means that the planets are actually 60 degrees apart. Not that I know that from, because I know all this stuff. I talked to somebody about it. So, at any rate. So, and then this would be the second time that this happens, the second of 3 times, okay? Jupiter stands for a moral universe where the good are rewarded and the bad are punished. Pluto, however, is strictly law of the jungle. People have to eat, and if you're down in your luck, then you're making the switch from predator to prey. Hopefully, you've been kind to others when they were in need of kindness. That means you'll be protected. If not, then it would be a good time to get your running shoes on. So, I'm sorry, but I just find that really, really fascinating, because things are doing what things are doing. And so I guess Jupiter, what is it? Jupiter is like the planet of great luck. And then Pluto is the planet of, what did he say? The law of the jungle kind of thing. So how interesting is that they're sextile right now, and then all of this stuff has been happening. It's just so fascinating to me. I swear to God, Christopher is always on. He's always on point. So at any rate, okay. So before this person, I think it's fantastic that I have so many callers calling in, but I'm going to hold off. I'm going to do the meditation only for another maybe 7 to 10 minutes. Okay. So I will be picking up your calls after that. I promise. I promise. Right? Okay, now what I want to do, and just so you all know, I have been looking to see if I'm getting any texts, and I'm not. So I apologize. I'm still working on it. I am working on the whole text thing. Not text, but message, comments on Facebook. So yeah. Anyway, all right, so let's get started with this meditation. It is absolutely exciting and incredible, okay? Yeah, I really wanted to do a grounding meditation, because I feel like right now, with everything that's happening, with the planets and all that stuff, and the world just seems like it's going a little bit crazy, right? Let's do a grounding meditation, right? So Spirit channeled this meditation today, and I want to share it with you guys. And again, the cool thing about YouTube is that all of these shows are memorialized on my YouTube channel, which is Lori Albert. So happy medium, I think it is. Or so you can go back, and if there's a specific meditation that you really gravitate to, you can always do it again. So that's great. Anyway, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start to get into this now, and I want you all to get really, really comfortable. Now, if it's at all possible for today specifically, today's meditation, I want you to put your feet flat on the floor if you can. And if you can be barefoot, even better. Okay, if you really choose to sit cross-legged or something, I get that, because that's what I like to do too. But specifically for today, if you could sit with your palms up and your feet flat on the floor. Okay, and get comfortable. Palms up on your lap. Let's take a couple of very beautiful cleansing breaths in, breathing in the pure love of the day, pure joy in your life, and breathing out any stress that you may have, any things that are just making you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Breathe that out. And breathe in again. Good, deep cleansing breath. And breathe out stress. I want you to imagine yourself walking barefoot in the forest, in the woods. No need to worry about shoes or what's on the ground. Everything is perfect. You pass small bushes and trees and rocks. Everything seems untouched and natural and pure. As we continue walking, we notice the moss on the trees and the breeze blowing, and the little friendly animals doing what they do. Maybe a bunny rabbit, or you see a deer in the distance. Everything seems so happy and right. As you are walking, continue walking, you come upon a beautiful stream with amazingly clear water. It's absolutely irresistible. And you step really carefully into the stream to allow your feet to be washed by this perfectly cool water. Feel the rocks under your feet and the chilled water moving all around over your feet and your ankles. It feels so refreshing. So as we step away into the grass and allow ourselves to dry off, you recognize the sounds of the birds and all the animals, crickets, and you realize absolutely how peaceful it is. As you continue walking, you come across a clearing where there is a perfect place to sit and enjoy the beauty of the forest, with the sun peeking through the trees and the wind blowing slightly. As you sit down, you sit down comfortably, and you close your eyes and consider the peace that is absolutely overwhelming you, and that all of your troubles, stresses from your day and your week are simply melting away into the ground. Struggles and concerns just wash off your body. The beauty in nature will catch all these concerns and dissolve them. So as we sit here, we allow the sun to shine on our face, and the forest to revitalize us, and the ground to accept and dissipate all of our emotions other than peace, the peace that the forest gives us. So as we sit here for a moment, just allow your senses to take in everything that you see and feel, hear. Now imagine yourself slowly opening your eyes and recognizing that peace is flowing freely through your body. And we get up from where we're sitting, and slowly we start to walk back through the forest where we came. And we know that we are different now. We are peaceful. We are joyful. And we feel grounded in a new way. Whenever you feel comfortable, please open your eyes and maybe shake out or move your fingers slightly and your toes, just so that you can get the feeling going back in your body. So, wow, I just thought that meditation was incredible. And you know, it's hard to actually lead a meditation and do it at the same time, of course, but boy, that just felt good, didn't it? I mean, oh my goodness. Oh wow. So thank you all for indulging me on that, and I hope that you all feel a little bit more grounded, right? So yeah, so it's exciting. Okay, so getting back into the flow of the show, gratitude challenge. How is everyone doing with the gratitude challenge? I hope everybody's doing good. I'll tell you what, this has been kicking my butt, especially because, you know, it's been, and I know I keep talking about this, but the Mercury being in retrograde, it's trying. People are having difficult times right now, right? So, but it's so much fun doing this gratitude challenge because it's like, this is when we need it, right? This is when we need it, right? So, you know, I've once again been taught the lesson that there is so much power in gratitude. So much power in gratitude. And it's amazing that we have so much to be grateful for, even just the smallest, tiniest things, right? So, getting on to the challenge. I wanted to tell you guys the story. I forgot to tell you guys last week because, well, Cynthia was here and it was amazing. Was she not incredible? She's incredible. So I hope you all enjoyed that show last week. But so I want to tell you the story about my mother, right? My mother knows what I do. She's not tech savvy, so she's never seen the show. You know, she's like 85-ish, you know, 84, 85. So, I mean, she's getting up there a little bit, right? But she's into all of this, and she loves talking. Like, she's an upbeat person, right? I think it's where I get it from, right? And she's a real upbeat person and everything. So I told her, she says, how's your show going, Laurie? And I said, well, the show's going well. I said, I'm doing a gratitude challenge right now. And she goes, oh, really? She said, you know, I'm grateful too. And I said, I know you are. She's always grateful, right? She said, I'm grateful too. And I said, well, you know, she said, what are you doing? What's the challenge? And I said, well, the challenge is, and I said, you know, to wake up and say thank you first thing in the morning. She says, oh, I do that. I do that all the time. I say thank you all the time to God. Yes, I do. And I said, well, that's great. And you're doing the challenge. She goes, well, what else are you telling people to do? And I said, well, we have to think of things, 3 to 5 things every day that can't be the same as the day before, right? I said that you're grateful for. And she goes, oh, I'm thankful for my car. Yes, I am. I'm so thankful. And you know what? I'm so thankful that I don't have any pain in my leg today. And I went, that's great, Mom. So our conversation continues and we start talking about other things. And all of a sudden she's like, you know what else I'm thankful for? And I'm just like, what, Mom? And she just keeps going on. Like, for an hour, we'll talk about something else, and then she'll come back to what she's grateful for. And I'm like, oh my God, this is where I get this from. I loved it. I just loved it. And you know what? That's what I hope for you guys, that you feel this gratitude that I'm feeling. It's like so exciting. It's so cool. It's just so cool. So anyway, okay. So we're going to go back. I'm going to talk about the challenge and you know, like what we've done so far, and then where we're going to go now. Okay, so is everybody still waking up in the morning and saying thank you? I hope you guys are, because that, you know what, I'll admit I forgot for a couple of days, right? And I have to tell you, I woke up, I don't remember whatever day it was the other day, and I woke up and I went, oh, I have to say thank you. Oh my gosh, you know, so I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And and I started laughing at myself, because here it is, 5 o'clock in the morning, I get up at 5. And 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm laughing at myself, you know, right? So don't forget about that, because that's key. That's a really big thing. Okay, and then what else are you thankful for? Are you able to find at least 3 to 5 things every day that are different than the day before that you're thankful for? What do you think? What do you think? That's a really important thing too, because because now at this point, we're like 4 weeks into this, 5 weeks into this now. We should be creating habits, okay? Our habits should be starting to form, okay? So if you can start to write down what you're thankful for, that's very good too. And then let's not forget about smiling. Is everybody smiling? I hope you're smiling and making yourself happy, right? And so that's always another big thing, right? And then last week, paying it forward. Did anybody pay it forward? Oh my gosh, right? You know, it was funny because, you know, I used the example of holding the door open for somebody, right? And what I did was, I didn't know somebody was behind me, right? And so I closed I walked out, and then I glanced back and I was like, oh my God. So I turned around and I apologized profusely, because that's what I want to do. I want to like hold door open for people and stuff like that. And she's like, oh my God, don't even worry about it. And I said, well, you know, I try to do some, you know, it's kind of like a pay it forward thing. Of course, I'm explaining the whole thing because that's what I do. So I'm just like laughing at myself because here, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to pay it forward and hold the door open. And she was like laughing at me, you know, so yeah, you know, even if the intention's there, right? So that's good. So this week, what is our challenge for the week? Week 5. What is it? Anybody want to guess? Okay, challenge, like you're going to talk back to me. But the challenge for this week is don't complain. Oh my gosh. I know, that's a tough one, and it's kind of interesting in and of itself, right? Don't complain. Catch yourself when you start complaining, okay? Catch yourself when you start complaining. When you start complaining, or even if it's just like, oh, it's so hot. Yes, I'm on the West Coast, and it is freaking hot here. I know, I have friends, family, everybody's back east, and it's cold there, but it is hot here. We went from 70 to 100 in like a day, and that's the truth, right? So bottom line here is that, yeah, so don't complain about it. Right? Catch yourself. That's the whole point here, is to catch yourself when you find yourself complaining. Whether you're complaining to yourself, which is always a thing, or complaining to somebody else, you know, your coworker, you know, why did I just get this project? I don't want this project. Don't. Just say, oh, great, I'm taking this on, and say thank you for it, right? Because we're about gratitude. Because guess what? What's the alternative? If you get this project thrown in your lap, what's the alternative? The alternative is to not have any work at all. So, just throwing that out there. So there you go. That would be the challenge for the week. The gratitude challenge for the week, okay? So, there you go. Now, I have a couple people that have been calling, and I'm going to start taking calls. So, I'll try to get to everybody's call. So, hi there, you are live on the air with Lori. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm silencing you on the computer.
Oh, yeah. You might want to turn the volume down because it's like delayed or something.
It is. I'm like, wait a minute. She didn't answer a call.
It's all a big secret. We do things in advance, you know. So
before anything else, I have to tell you that when you did the meditation, my dogs have been all riled up about the neighbors across the street are doing construction. They've been barking all day. Oh. They went totally silent. All 3 of them are asleep now.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is just so cool. That is really cool. Oh my gosh. See, they don't even know that. I don't know if they can understand English, but you know, hey. That's really awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. So what can I do for you today? Do you have a story to reminisce about from a loved one that's passed?
Actually, I sent you the picture this morning of
you're the one
my
that sent
grandparents
the picture.
and their best friend. Yeah.
That was so cool. Oh my gosh. It was a picture of, for those of you that didn't see the Facebook today, it was, you guys were at the beach, I guess, right?
We were at the beach. It was down in Malibu. They were building a house which has since burned down.
Oh.
And, yeah, that's sad. But they didn't live there anymore, so that was good.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. That's great.
At least for them, not necessarily for those who were there. But yeah, they had just bought the property. They were planning their beach house.
Oh my
gosh.
Okay,
we
so
were
that
all
was
down there.
you. Who all was in the picture? It was
It was myself. Joyce was sitting next to me, and then my grandfather and grandmother were on the other side of her.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so great. And now, are they all passed? Who is Joyce? Joyce is your sister?
Joyce was Joyce and her husband who took the photograph were my mom's godparents.
Oh, and they're passed as well, right?
Yeah, they've all passed. And
what a
I actually hadn't been inclined to call you. I sent you a screenshot earlier because when I logged onto my computer about 40 minutes ago, it said that your show started at 4.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I tried dialing in.
Oh no.
And
yeah,
and then I looked on the On the computer it said 5 and 5, but on my phone it said 5 and 4 in the little block. It said 4.
Oh my God.
And so I'm like, okay, somebody wants me to call in and find something out. So that's why I'm calling more than any question.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, I got to be honest. I feel like that it is your father that is actually kind of stepping forward here. And he was in that picture, right? And he's passed, correct?
No, grandfather. My father is actually still living, and interestingly enough, contacted me through a cousin this last weekend.
Oh, interesting.
So the father energy could very easily be there, but the person in that photograph is my grandfather.
Okay, because it feels like it's the man in the photograph. What I'm seeing, I feel like it's the man in the photograph, but he feels. Were you raised by him, or did you have a really close relationship with him?
Yeah, I had a really, really close relationship with him.
Okay, that's probably why the father energy, because when it's not like, I have to figure that out, you know? Because, you know, I get these messages and I get these visions or whatever you want to call them, and then all of a sudden I have to figure it out, you know? So, okay, so yeah, I believe that he is the one stepping forward, and he is showing me, like, that of like a time, I feel like that in the 50s, in the 1950s or 60s, he has got this big smile on his face, and I feel like that he was he kind of a card? Was he
yes.
Was he kind of fun?
He was very fun.
He was very fun because he's got a hat on. Did he have a hat on in the picture? Because I don't have.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. Okay, but did he wear a hat? Okay, let me just tell you what I'm saying. What I'm seeing instead of asking you questions. I'm seeing he's got a hat on. I feel like it's in like the 50s or 60s. I'm kind of leaning towards the 60s, to be honest with you. So I feel like it's in like the 1960s. He's got this hat on, and he has got like this devious sort of smile on his face, like a fun-hearted thing. Was he also a practical joker? 'Cause I'm getting that kind of.
He was. It wasn't something that I necessarily experienced, but actually the man who took the photograph told me stories about when they were working in Puerto Rico together and the things that they used to do.
Oh, really? So he would do...
But I never experienced his practical jokes.
Okay, so not actual hugely like drawn out big practical jokes. I'm not sensing it's big like that, but I feel like that he was like, he liked to play jokes on people is basically what it was. So okay, so he's just, this is all for validation purposes, I think, you know, and he just, his smile is like, I feel like that he wore a smile a lot. I feel like he smiled a lot. So that's what I'm getting from him. Okay, so let me see why he's like what his sort of message is. Okay, so I never get names, but I feel like that his name may have started with a B. Did his name start with a B by any chance?
No.
No? Okay. I don't know why I'm getting a B, but whatever. Okay, so what was his first name though? Go ahead and tell me.
Fred.
What was it?
Fred.
Fred. Okay. I thought you said Brad, and I'm like, wait, that's a B.
No, Fred.
No.
But actually, my grandmother's sister called him Brock.
Oh, really? Huh. Okay.
I don't know why, but that's a B.
Yeah. Isn't that funny when they get like nicknames and you just have no idea what that's about? But okay, so Fred. Okay, so first of all, okay, so do you see the daffodils behind me? Are you watching the show? Do you see the daffodils?
I am.
You know, I feel like that he led me to the store to buy them so that you would see them. Do you have was there a gardening thing, or was there a significance with daffodils, or the color yellow, or anything like that with
you? He was a serious gardener, and it's funny you said that, because I actually, when you asked if your messaging was working, I actually wrote, I love the daffodils.
Oh, that's so cool. No, my messaging is not working, and it's so frustrating, but whatever. We're not complaining today. But you know what? I feel like that he led me to those daffodils. I feel like that he led me to those, and the reason why is because now that I'm thinking it through, because I went just before I got home and started getting ready for the show, and I was gonna get some pink flowers. I really wanted pink flowers. It's like in my head, and for some reason I kept saying to myself, like I kept hearing, get the daffodils, get the daffodils, get the daffodils. So yeah, so I think those are for you. I think those are for you. Oh, that's so nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So do you have a shared love of gardening? Like, do you love gardening as well?
I do. I'm not nearly as good at it as he was, but I do.
You know what he just said to me? He goes, "Not yet." I feel like that.
There you go.
I feel like that. It's a thing that he's like pushing on you, kind of a little bit. He's also telling me that, and I'm just giving what I'm getting here, so don't shoot the messenger. But I'm getting him telling me, she needs to calm herself down a little bit. You need to, like, and part of the reason why he was pushing, I think, the gardening and stuff is because there's some stuff going on, and he's telling me that you're way too stressed, and that he wants you to start being able to calm yourself down. So. Do you understand that? Can you take that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's actually he wants you to find a hobby, even if it's not gardening. He wants you. And this is what he's saying. So this isn't me tooting my own horn, but he really liked that meditation that I did today too. And he's saying that what, she needs to meditate. And do you meditate a little bit now?
I do.
Okay, so he wants you to meditate more, and he wants you to start doing things that really take that stress away. He's concerned about your health, not in such that you've got like this big disease going on, but he's showing me something about your breathing. Like he wants you to, like he's worried about your breathing. Like, do you have asthma or something? And
no, I don't have asthma, but okay. I've had the stomach flu for the last 2 days.
Oh, man, I wonder if that's what it is. Oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks. But has it affected, I mean, I know the stomach flu is obviously your stomach, but did it affect your lungs at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, because I get the sense that, and again, this is not him saying that you've got this like horrible thing going on. He's just wants you to like control your breathing. He's worried, he's not worried, but he wants you to consider your breathing, which is why meditation would be really good, because meditation is, a lot of it is about controlling your breathing and slowing it down kind of thing. So he just is, he just is concerned. He's just concerned because he loves you, he's saying, this is what he's saying to me. He's saying, she thinks that there's nothing that can be done about this stress that's going on right now. But the reality is, yes, there is something that can be done about this stress that's going on. I don't know what it is, if it's work related or whatever, but he's saying that there are ways for you to, deal with this stress. So, how do you feel about that?
Reassuring.
Okay, well that's good. That's good to hear. That's actually really good to hear. Okay, so the homework for you is
okay.
He's, it's so funny because I just said to him, I said, so should I talk to her about the gratitude challenge? And he goes, no, just make sure that she meditates. That just makes me laugh, and I'm one that tells it like it is. I really, really do, and so that makes me really laugh because my big thing right now is this whole gratitude challenge, right? So I was like, should I make her do that? And he's like, no, don't worry about it.
He's probably telling you that I do it, because that's one of the things I try to do on my commute on the way home every night.
Oh, that's good.
Just think about the things that happened during the day that I'm grateful for, so that I don't get quite as angry at the people who are cutting me off.
Right, exactly. So that's probably why.
Between thinking of what I'm grateful for and trying to remind myself that, just like me, those people are trying to get someplace. Or
yeah. It's so true, My husband has, and I hope he's not listening, but my husband has the worst, like, road rage. Not the worst, not like he's going to pull a gun out at somebody. It's not like that bad. But, he just like, oh, man, that person's really not smart, whatever. And sometimes a little bit stronger than that. But he'll be like, and I'll be like, they're just trying to get home, too. You know, maybe their father's in the hospital. You don't know. Come on, you know, kind of thing. So I'm always forever doing that, you know, just trying to calm it down. It's all good, you know, kind of thing. So, but yeah, so I will tell you that okay, let me just recap a little bit. The flowers are for you for sure. I don't know, do you remember daffodils in his garden?
I remember bulbs in his garden, not specifically daffodils, but I remember daffodils in the house.
In the house? Okay.
And
that's so cool.
And daffodils at his friend's house, but not necessarily in his garden.
Okay.
Because his garden was mainly a potted garden.
Okay.
He had a lot of trees, but the flowers and everything, because the yard was concrete, it was mainly in pots.
Right, right. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so beautiful. You know, so I'll just leave you with this. He is there for you when you need to vent. This is him talking, not me. When you need to vent about the stuff that's going on in your life right now that's kind of stressful, he can listen. Okay, he doesn't want to get you too caught up in the complaining thing. You know, he doesn't want to get you too caught up into that, but he does want you to know that he can hear you when you need to vent. And he understands. He's been where you are. I don't know exactly what that means, but he's been where you are, and he understands. And meditate more. Is what he's saying. And he's just, it's so funny because I feel like that you're gonna laugh, because I feel like he's standing right here, and I feel like he's looking into the camera, and I feel like that he said, and tell her to meditate more, and then he goes like this, he goes like big smile, like go ahead, you know, like this huge smile on his face. So yeah, he's a really, really wonderful guy. I feel like that he was really, really fun, but his energy is one of such joy and just love for you, just like happiness, you know. I feel like that he had a really good way of being about him. So yeah, he did. Yeah, so I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much for calling and for sharing the picture.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Oh, you're welcome. That was immediately what came to mind when you said it.
That's so cool.
When you posted it.
That's really cool. So great. Well, thank you so much, and have yourself a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Okay, have a great night. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that's so cool. I just love that, you know? I mean, it's just beautiful. You know, it really is. Our loved ones blow me away. They really just do. So okay, so phone lines. I know several people tried to call in, and I apologize for that. So if you want to call back, now would be a good time to do so. So yeah, I want to reminisce about the loved ones that have passed in our lives. I shared a story on Facebook this morning, and I want to tell you guys about it. It is so funny. It's a fun story, and I want to keep this light and happy, right? My father has passed right now. Not right now. He died like, he died like 17 years ago. That's a long time. But he died like 17 years ago. And but he was alive when I was pregnant with my daughter. And bless his heart, he was just the nicest man. I mean, he brought us up. He and my mother brought us up so well. Oh, by the way, happy Siblings Day to my sister Kitty. Love you. But he brought us up so well. You know, he taught us what it meant to have integrity and honesty and always do the right thing and all of that kind of stuff. And I just have such a strong moral, I just feel like I have a strong moral upbringing. I had a strong moral upbringing. So, but at any rate, lovely, lovely man. Okay, great guy, right? So here we were. I'm in the hospital because I'm in labor and I'm in pain, and I'm just like, I'm on medicine, of course, because I couldn't do that naturally, right? So I'm laying in bed, and my dad had this thing where he jingled the change in his pocket. He would put his hands in his pocket and jingle the change, right? When he was nervous or just when he was a little bored or something, he would do it. Well, because I'm like, I try to be nice, here I am laying there. It's like silent. Well, not silent because I had music playing, but silent in there. And I can hear my dad jingling the change, right? And, you know, when you're in labor and you're going through pains and stuff like that, You know, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Please stop doing it. Please stop doing it. Of course, I didn't say anything because what am I going to say? You know, I wouldn't want to like hurt his feelings or, you know, that's not what I'm about. So I didn't want to hurt his feelings or anything. So I never said anything. But boy, I'll tell you what, it was just so funny. I remember thinking, please stop with the change. Please stop doing it. But then, you know, as I was typing that, I remember thinking to myself, boy, what I wouldn't give one more time to hear him jingle the change, you know. So yeah, so that's like one of my reminiscent stories, you know. It's a really beautiful thing to remember and reminisce about our loved ones on the other side. Some people get really, really sad when they even think about their loved ones that have passed. And you know, it can be a beautiful thing to like really just remember them with love, remember the fun times, remember the joy, all of that, right? But, you know, sometimes it's good to just sit in that for just a few minutes, right? So, yeah, and, you know, here's the thing. I was trying to decide how I wanted to talk about this today because I really wanted to talk about this. And, you know, I thought, you know, I have a really interesting perspective on death and what happens when you die, obviously. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting, the take that I have. And let me just explain. I'm sorry, I'm hemming and hawing here. When I was young, I was scared to death to die, okay? And like just the process of it kind of thing, you know, because I had seen my grandparents pass away and I'd seen different things. And, you know, it just became kind of like scary, like, ooh, is it hurt to die? You know, what is it like? You know, ew, I'm not sure I want to deal with that, you know, kind of thing. But, you know, the reality is that it's, here's my boy. The reality is that, you know, it can be a beautiful thing and it doesn't hurt. I've been told many times that it doesn't hurt to die, okay, by different spirits that have passed, okay. And you know, I've been told, I guess I'll just say it this way, I have been told from people on the other side that at first, when they get over there, sometimes it starts out with a confusion, okay, of like, oh, wait, what's going on? And then it sort of progresses then into sort of the life review. So you get to sort of see your life really fast, sort of go before your eyes, which is kind of interesting to say the least. I mean, you know, it's not exciting, the idea of seeing all the crappy things you did throughout your life, right? But sometimes I think it's necessary because you can just get past it, right? People progress on the other side. People move forward and they move backwards, and I don't want to say they move backwards, but they move forward, or sometimes they stay in the same place. They don't necessarily progress for a while because they have to make do with whatever they did throughout their life. I hope that makes sense. But it's really, really fascinating. And I have to tell you, you know, when I was younger, like I said, I was really scared to die. And then, you know, the more and more I started to, first of all, it started, you know, when I started meditating every day, and things started happening, and I started realizing that, you know, death might not be so bad, right? And then when I started, I don't know, I guess maybe about 8 or 10 years ago, I started really developing the mediumship gifts. I started realizing that you know, it's just another step that we have in our quote-unquote lives, our soul lives, right? So I just found that to be so interesting. And then all of a sudden one day I remember thinking, I heard about somebody that had passed away or something, and I remember thinking, you know, I'm not scared to die anymore. You know, it doesn't seem so scary to me anymore. So at any rate, I thought that was really kind of interesting. You know, I just wanted to talk about that. And then I wanted to tell you guys one more story I have about a deceased loved one that passed. And it was my grandfather, okay? My grandfather, Carl. My daughter, Carly, is named after him. And we had, okay, so my mom and her sister, they had kids, and we were all around the same age. My sister was the oldest, and then there was me, and then there was the other kids, right? My cousins, right? And they would come to visit every you know, holiday basically, or whatever. And one of my favorite things was Christmas time, for many reasons. But Grandpap was musical. He was a musician, and he played, I want to say, just about every instrument that there is. And I'm really not lying when I say that. In that, if he didn't know how to play it, he could teach himself how to play it. He was really skilled. He had all of these instruments, right? He had an organ in his house, right? Didn't have a piano, but he had an organ, right? He played the banjo. He played the ukulele. He played the mandolin. He played all kinds of instruments. He played the harmonica. He played all this stuff, right? And the tambourine, of course, there's a tambourine. So whenever my cousins would come and my aunt and uncle, they would come, we would do these things that Grandpap would call, let's have a jam session, right? And so it would be called a jam session. And he would give us all instruments, and he would like we'd parade around, and sometimes we would play really well, and it really created, I think it created a love of music, in my cousins and me. You know, I was a musician for a long time. My cousin is really musical. She's a music teacher. She's a theater teacher. She's like teacher extraordinaire, if you ask me. But it's just amazing how that happens, right? So that was my kind of fun reminiscent story. So, and we have a call. Perfect timing, because that story's over. Hi there, you are live on the air with Lori. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name is Dee. How are you?
Hi there. I didn't catch your name. What was it again?
Dee, D-E-E.
Dee. Hi, Dee. How are you today?
I'm okay, thanks. I have a question.
Sure.
Hoping you can help me with my mom.
Okay.
I wanted to see if her mom, who's not with us anymore, has any advice as to how we can get her out of what she's going through right now.
Okay, so I immediately, when you started talking, and I don't know if this would be your grandmother or your mother, but I see this lady who is sitting, like holding court type sitting, and she's got, you know, I don't know the difference between white and gray, but white or gray hair. Does that sound like your grandmother?
You know, I didn't really know my grandmother because she lived in a different country, and she passed many years ago, but my mom still talks about her. But yeah, I would say she had gray hair. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And was she the type of person that had a really strong personality?
Yes.
Okay, right. Okay, that I'm sure that this is her, because the second you started talking about her, she started pouring in, and I mean, she started pouring in. What am I saying? I'm saying that she was right here, right then, which is really kind of a sign for me that she's got a very strong personality, and quite potentially has a lot to say, because I feel like she probably would have a lot to say. I feel like that, let me just get this off my chest because she wants me to talk about this. She was the type of person that would, a lot of people would go to for advice. I feel like that.
Yeah, I think she was some sort of healer. You know, I know my mom said a lot of people because she lived in a small village in Brazil.
Okay.
And she said a lot of people would come to her whenever they had, you know, some sort of ailment or something. So she had some sort of healing capability for sure. Oh,
that is so cool. Oh, and so maybe you want some advice, like as far as like healing goes for your mom. Is that what you're talking about?
You know what? At this point, I will take anything because we have exhausted all options here in the physical. So
okay. Okay, so let me just kind of tune into what she wants to say. She's very all business like, I will say. Your grandmother. Can you just tell me what her name is so that I can call her by her name?
Sure, Maria.
Maria. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, so okay, so I feel like she's okay. I'm just going to start at the beginning here. She wants to talk about the fact that there's healing that needs to be done, but I feel like it's emotional and physical. Can you like understand that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's not just like that there's a physical issue, you know, kind of going on. I think that there's some emotional and like mental stuff going on that needs to be balanced. She's talking to me about balancing something. She's saying that she's talking about, yeah, she keeps doing this. She's like, we got to balance this out. We got to balance this out. Okay, so she's really strong that way. It's a really strong message that way. She wants to talk about balance. You know, she's also saying that there are, I hate to say it this way, but this is what she's telling me to tell you. There are ducks that need to be in a row. I don't mean to say it in terms of like that, but you need to get your ducks in a row, because I feel like this is what she's telling me. Okay, they're trying to go to Z instead of going all the way through the alphabet. Does that make sense? Like you're reaching for Z instead of looking at A, B, or C. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's saying, go ahead, what?
I was just going to say, you know, unfortunately, my siblings and I are doing what we can, but my mom isn't always a willing participant.
Oh, yeah, that's always, okay, that makes sense then. But, yeah, okay. She's also talking to me about having conversations with your mother that are frank, okay, that are cutting through the nicety of it. I feel like that there's okay, I'm just going to say it this way. I feel like not dissension in the ranks here, but like I feel like that there are difference of opinions between your siblings about how to approach your mother about certain things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
and what she's saying is that talking to your mother in frank terms is going to be the best way to reach her so that she understands the seriousness of what's going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing is my mom doesn't like to be spoken to frankly. She has regressed in some ways and wants to be treated like a child. I mean, she's going to be 76 next week, and you know, we've exhausted everything, all treatment options, really. Yeah. And we want to get her in a treatment facility, outpatient, and for anxiety and depression, and she refuses.
That's okay. So I'm picking up on the actually, I feel like that it's more anxiety than it is depression, to be honest with you. Just because she feels like, okay, and this is your grandmother is telling me that your mother feels like she's out of the loop. Okay. She feels like that she's out of the loop. She feels like everybody's talking about her behind her back, which of course you are, but you know, you know, but I'm just getting the sense that she feels like that there's all kinds of stuff that is being kept from her. Okay, so it's interesting because now I'm tapping into your mother's energy, and yeah, I'm getting a sense of the fact that she feels like that she's being talked about behind her back. So if you can start to reassure her that this is all above board, and tell her, you know, maybe talk to her about 3 or 4 options. And I know you said she wants to be kind of talked to like a child, but maybe you know, talk to her in terms that are frank, that are all inclusive. Okay. So yeah, does that make sense? Does that help you at all?
It does. I just don't know. I don't know.
I can sense your frustration, and I'm so sorry for that. But let me just tell you one other thing that Maria is saying. She's saying that, first of all, is your father in spirit?
No, he's still with us.
He's still, okay, then it must be her father. Okay, because I'm seeing around your mother, I'm seeing a man, okay, in spirit. So I feel like it might be her father. And I feel like that he is with her, trying to soothe her. But I'm getting a big message from Maria saying that dealing with her anxiety and the fact that she feels like everybody is talking about her behind her back and withholding information from her. If you can somehow start there, that if you can get those two things at least in a place that's workable with your mother, that will help in the long run. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you can work on those two things, the anxiety and the sort of, I guess you could call it paranoia. I don't mean to be rude, but like if you could call it kind of a paranoia that everybody is talking about her behind her back, if you can somehow address those and make her feel better in terms of those two things, that's going to be the start of, like, because remember I was saying before about how you guys are going to Z, but you're not going through the alphabet. So I feel like that's what she wants you to do. Start here. Start with her on her emotional level first, and then you can start to take the steps that you might need to take.
Okay.
So
I'll take it. I'll try.
She's a strong lady.
Does she have any messages for me?
She's really proud of you. And she's telling me that you have taken the bull by the horns here, and that she's talking about how that you remind her of her. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. You remind her of her in that, because you are a very strong lady. Do you consider yourself a strong lady? A strong person?
Depends on the day. I mean, I've been through it and back the last 7 years since my divorce, and some days I feel like I can conquer the world, and other days I just want to stay under the covers. So, depends. Yeah.
And she, believe it or not, she is saying, you know what? As strong as everybody always knew that I had those days too. Don't sell yourself short. So that's basically what her message is for you. Don't sell yourself short in that you need to just believe in yourself and move forward in a strong way. Okay?
Okay.
Okay? So
all right,
thanks so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And you know what? Maria is awesome. You can talk to her anytime you want. She will do her, and trust me when I say this, because her energy is very strong. If you want to talk to her and you need some sort of answer, talk to her, and she will do her level best to try to get you an answer. Okay, from beyond.
That's awesome to know, because I would have loved to have known her, definitely, especially since she was a healer. I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Good to know.
That's really cool. So, well, thanks so much, Steve, for the call. I appreciate
so much again.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Good night.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Wow, that was really an interesting call. Really an interesting call. That spirit was so freaking awesome. Oh my God, I love when strong spirits come through, because there were no ifs, ands, or buts what she was saying, and that sort of thing. So, at any rate, time is up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate all the love. You guys give me so much love, and I thank you so much for that. Thank you for just being who you are to me. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page, and tune in every week at Tuesdays at 5 p.m. PST, which is Pacific time. However, next week I'm not going to be here, so please go onto YouTube and enjoy one of my past shows. And then for the rest of the year, I will be there on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. So I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, and everybody try to stay happy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Spiritually Speaking with Lori Albert.